I think dads wanted it to be. I don't necessarily know that my dad, we'll just use him as an example, or any of the ones, the stereotypical ones we're talking about. I don't know that they necessarily chose that or wanted that. It's just kind of the position they got put into, and you just went along with it and you just did it. And I think in today's world, there's just more optionality. There's just more optionality to choose different things. And I think more dads, more men are picking that to say, no, actually, I want to be at the game, or I want to stay home, or I want to play a different role in the family. So I don't think people have changed so much in terms of what they want to do. I just think there's more of an openness and a freedom to pick different paths. Whereas in the past, back then it was just, no, this is the path. If you veer from that, society's going to look at you and say, what the hell are you doing? That's not what it does. Well, it's so true. And not to get too philosophical with it, but that's one of the things I thought about a lot with my dad and me as a dad is just, I think a big piece of it is just being thoughtful, just being deliberate versus letting it happen to you and saying, well, this just feels like what I should do or what I shouldn't do. Recognizing you have that choice is a big part of it. It's not an easy choice, to your point, right? It's not like there's an easy answer to it, but at least be thoughtful and pick the one that you think is best, How I was raised and my parents and my dad and stuff, safety being the big thing. Again, I didn't realize it at the time, but growing up, I guess lived a relatively sheltered, privileged life in many ways. And by that, I mean, not only just literally, but the way that I thought, because I guess ultimately I thought like things work out. Things kind of go the way they're supposed to go. And if you follow the right path, if you go to the best schools, if you get the right jobs, like that's what you do. And then everything's safe and you're good. I guess there was this like illusion of control that if I do it the right way, I can control the outcome. And it wasn't until later in life that I started to change that view. But yeah, so like there was this illusion that you could control. Like if you do things the right way, you'd have control over the outcomes and life would go the way you want it to go. And I kind of carried that through so much of my life, and it felt good, to be honest. Like everything felt like, yeah, this is great. But then, as always happens, right? Life starts to hit you. So for me, it was a few different things that kind of hit all at once. So I just graduated Harvard Business School. So I was like, yeah, like check, like this is all great. Got a good job, was making good money, bought a house, was married, was about to have a kid. Everything was going great. And then two big things happened. One, my sister, who was 4 years older than me, got ill. And she had some kidney disease and had a kidney transplant, but ultimately passed away from that. And then right at the same time, we were actually trying to have our second child, my wife and I, and she has multiple sclerosis. So we went through some medical things around that. And at that same time, it became clear we couldn't have another child. And her multiple sclerosis got way worse, to the point where like severe disability, couldn't really move around, couldn't walk anymore, just significantly changed her life and our lives as part of that. And I remember thinking like so explicitly and clearly in that moment, like, oh, wow, like I've been thinking about this all wrong. Like there's nothing I can do to control this.